first time it happened, I told myself it was nothing. Just a small thing. A missing credit on a presentation. My name wasn't there, but the work was mine. I remember staring at the screen in that glass meeting room, watching my manager, Daniel, confidently explain my idea to the clients like it was his own. Everyone nodded. They were impressed, and I said nothing, because I needed the job, because I thought maybe next time would be different. But it wasn't. Weeks turned into months, and slowly, quietly, I started disappearing. Not physically. I was still there every day, sitting at the same desk, logging the same hours. But professionally, I was fading. Emails I wrote were forwarded without my name. Reports I built were reviewed and then presented by someone else. Ideas I shared in private meetings somehow became someone else's breakthrough in public ones. And every time, I swallowed it. Because speaking up felt risky. Because Daniel wasn't just my manager. He was connected. Everyone liked him, trusted him. He had that polished confidence that made people believe him without question. And me, I was just the quiet one. The turning point didn't come with anger. It came with something colder. Clarity. It was a Thursday evening. Most of the office had gone home, and I stayed back to finish a proposal. A big one. The kind that could define a career. I worked on it for 2 weeks straight. Late nights, early mornings. Every detail was mine. Every number checked. Every slide crafted carefully. At around 9:40 p.m., I finally finished. I leaned back, exhausted, but proud. That's when I saw the notification. Daniel had accessed the file. The next morning, there was a meeting scheduled. Mandatory attendance. I walked in already knowing. And sure enough, there it was, my presentation, my structure, my words, coming out of his mouth, again. But this time, something inside me didn't break. It locked in, because this time I wasn't empty-handed. See, that Thursday night, something told me to be careful. So before I left, I made a copy of everything. Not just the final file, but the drafts, the timestamps, the version history, the emails where I sent updates, the internal chat logs where I discussed ideas, everything. I didn't do it out of revenge. Not yet. I did it because, for the first time, I realized silence wasn't protecting me. It was erasing me. So I stopped being silent. Not loudly, not emotionally, strategically. Over the next few weeks, I didn't confront Daniel. I didn't accuse him. I didn't even change my behavior. If anything, I became better, more cooperative, more team-oriented. I shared ideas like before. I worked like before. And he kept taking, just like before. But this time, I documented everything. Every stolen idea, every altered document, every meeting where my work became his voice. I built a timeline so detailed it felt almost surgical. Dates, times, versions, proof, not assumptions, not feelings, facts. Then came the opportunity. The company announced an internal audit. A routine process, they said. Performance reviews, project evaluations, nothing serious. But I knew better. Because audits don't look at words, they look at records. I didn't go in angry. I didn't go in emotional. I went in prepared. When it was my turn, I sat across from 2 senior reviewers. They asked simple questions at first. My role, my contributions, my experience on recent projects. And I answered calmly, clearly, confidently. Then one of them asked, "Can you walk us through your involvement in the Henderson proposal?" I paused, just for a second. Not because I didn't know the answer, but because I knew. This was the moment everything would change. So I nodded, and I opened my laptop. "I'd be happy to," I said. What followed wasn't an accusation. It was a presentation. Clean, organized, undeniable. I showed them the original drafts with timestamps, the version history showing my edits, the email chains where I shared progress, the internal messages where ideas were discussed, and later reappeared under a different name. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't attack Daniel. I just showed them, step by step, piece by piece. The room went quiet, not awkward, not confused, just still, like the truth had weight and it had just landed. They asked a few follow-up questions. I answered them, calmly, directly. And then it was over. I walked out of that room feeling something I hadn't felt in a long time. Not relief, not victory, just balance. The fallout wasn't immediate, but it was inevitable. Within 2 weeks, things started shifting. Daniel stopped leading meetings. Then he stopped attending them. Then one day, he just wasn't there anymore. No announcement, no explanation, just gone. People started asking questions, quietly, carefully, because suddenly, the quiet employee they overlooked had a voice backed by evidence. A month later, I was called into a meeting. Same glass room, same screen, different outcome. This time, my name was on the presentation, at the top, clear, visible, undeniable. They offered me Daniel's position. And the strangest part, I didn't feel revenge, not the dramatic kind at least. No satisfaction in his downfall, no celebration. Because the truth is, revenge didn't come from destroying him. It came from restoring myself, from being seen, from being acknowledged, from knowing that I didn't have to shout to be heard. I just had to be undeniable. So yeah, I stayed silent until I had proof.